Kanye West's secret technique to break free of slave contract. It's the Jews.
Oh, Jesus. All right, let's go.
All right. Here we go. One sec. Doing the thing.
Hello, won't you please rescue me?
Hello, I'm Tay Lon
Mark Santana.
Matt Karoshi.
And today we're talking about Kanye West's brilliant strategy to break free of a slave contract with E.M.I Records, taking an angle that has never been tried before, willingly saying fuck it.
Sabotaging his own self to get out of
He did the most egregious crime possible.
What was that?
He dared to offend people by misspelling shit on Twitter. Dude, the grammar Nazis popped out from everywhere.
Nazis
and let him know
yeah.
that DEFCON 3 is unacceptable. It's got to be DEFCON.
Have you ever actually created a typo or had a
spelling
typo?
mistake?
Yeah.
You know, it has a Holocaust. Really. Not a lot of stake in a spelling mistake.
These are some dry, rough-ass fucking puns. That's for fucking sure.
That one has the Holocaust. That was, oh man, that came out of left field. I haven't heard that.
Shit. So if you haven't heard, Kanye West, we've actually finally found the exact, because I was agonizing really and truly over what the fuck did Kanye West say exactly. Because, you know, a lot of shit gets heaped up in a pile and it becomes a dog pile of who's popular, who's the haters and who's the appreciators, who can make a name by shitting on somebody because it's popular at that time and they'll get good optics for it. Right? Compared to who's standing in the corner. And right now, they're treating him like he's raw fucking sewage. Let's not even dance around the bush. His interview on Drink Champs was taken away, and the owner Nore apologized for doing the podcast until they could get Kanye onto Lex Friedman, which they did, I think, a couple nights ago. Listen to the podcast. I'm not even gonna give him a free shout out, but listen to it to hear your opinion, because it's interesting to me to see how committed he is to get rid of E.M.I Records' lifelong contract, because that's really what it is. He tried suing to break free, and now the only way that he can say is, and I tell you, it's a fucking spelling mistake on Twitter. That's the most unforgivable sin that you could have, is go DEFCON 3 on Jews.
So Kanye's adventure started with that podcast that he did that got scrubbed off the internet?
It started a while back when he said George Bush hates black people.
That was during Katrina, right?
Yeah, Hurricane Katrina, when they were doing...
doesn't care about black people. Just a look on who was standing next to him.
It was Mike Myers, and it cut away to Chris Tucker. I remember because I was like, woo!
But this whole incident started with that podcast, which was called what again? Because I didn't see
Drink Champs, but it happened actually before Drink Champs. Drink Champs was the first podcast to have the balls to say, "What do you got to say?"
Okay, and then he told them what he had to say, and then they apologized for it.
Well, what ended up happening was it went up, and then it got reported and teared down until they could get Lex Friedman in place to talk to Kanye.
Lex Friedman, who is Lex Friedman? What does
Lex
he do?
Friedman is the current agenda man. You ever played the game Half-Life?
Yeah, oh yeah, bring me back.
So he's the guy in the suitcase who's standing there with the briefcase behind the window, always watching you.
Okay,
that is his role now.
That's how he's famous.
That's who he is.
I had
the briefcase man.
Oh, I did. It stemmed from Drink Champs. Was that his first interview or his second interview?
Well, I mean, he had a Chris Tucker interview, which they suppressed more than half of it. they did the Drink Champs episode, and the only place you could watch it on was the Apple Store for some fucking reason. Like they want to push the Apple Store. Who cares?
It's still up.
Apple's got a lot
somewhere.
of exclusivity going on at the moment. They like to tie people into that shit.
So
So
they want to give them money, then yeah.
Well, I mean, at this point, we're
Joe
content
Rogan
wars.
and the fucking
So
Netflix.
If people at home want to be like, well, I want to see this interview that kind of started it all, they can watch it, but they have to kind of do a deep dive on the internet to find that.
And isn't that a bitch? The thing that is being used right now for Ye is Ye wants to use the publicity to draw attention to his remarks so he can break free of the lifelong terms and conditions that he must always produce musical content like he always has. And this has no break. There's no time limit. And he's tried to use, I believe, some legal statute to break free, saying that no contract can extend past 7 years. But every time, and this is just as an outside observer, I look at it and these motherfuckers keep changing or trading who owns E.M.I Records. So technically the contract never seems to reach 7 years.
Because of the legality in California, correct?
Because of the legality of the law. Just hopping and dancing. If it's perpetual 6-year contracts and never reaches the 7-year contract mark, then the original contract is being exchanged to someone new, and it becomes a new contract with new terms under the old terms. It's like how student loans can be perpetually traded by selling their banknotes to other people, and you still owe them. So
I have a question, though.
Say again?
Okay. I have a question, though. Has EMI actually dropped Kanye West?
No.
Is that oh fuck? So the one thing that he actually wanted, he hasn't been able to get.
What's the list of it right now? I know Adidas, who also supported Nazis, they just support whatever's popular at the time. It seems.
You have Adidas that has dropped him, and even though he claimed Adidas wouldn't drop him in a way earlier interview,
that's
even
calling
if I
their
said
balls.
Some anti-Semitic shit, they wouldn't drop me.
He also was over $1 billion, and Forbes then stated that after Adidas dropped him, he dropped down $400 million. So he literally sacrificed $1 billion to talk shit. But then the freedom of speech question comes in, because when he says a thing, right?
Yeah.
They deplatform him, but then they go for punitive damages. Just like Alex Jones recently has gone for punitive damages on his comments over the Sandy Hook family. It was $1 billion worth of saying things, and now he says shit about
trillion.
George Floyd, and then their family goes and sues him for $250 million.
That's like more than what the GDP of like
no, the GDP of Italy is the current legal thing against Alex Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 2.75 trillion, which is the GDP of Italy.
This makes me really upset that I wasn't on board with like collecting shoes, because you know how much Yeezys are going to be worth now that Adidas doesn't make them anymore.
No, here's the thing. Interesting thing about that is the statement that Adidas have come out with is basically, we are dropping our link with Kanye West as of this, blah 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 blah. But the next thing that they said is, we own all the kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, patents in order to make those shoes. They own them, and they own all existing colors. So all the different colorways of all the different shoes they own, and any future ones that we intend to make. So potentially they could just make the fucking shoe and call it something else.
I was going to ask you that.
Have numerical designations. So you've got like the Yeezy 350, or the Yeezy Turtle Dove, or the Yeezy 380, and all this. So
but it's kind of like generic branding your own product.
Drop the name Yeezy and just retain the shoe.
The shoe design isn't what sold the shoe.
It was his name attached to it.
People did not fucking buy Jordans because they were a cool looking shoe.
These things are fucking ugly.
Because they looked like somebody dragged them through the mud and then put them up.
I really like Jordans. Well,
you're not known for having good taste.
Yeah, but then that comment comes from you, so it doesn't mean a whole lot to me. So it's fine. But no, I like the Jordan 1s. I like the Jordan 3s. I don't like the 4s. I love the 5s. And then after that, it's hit or miss for me. But I do like the Yeezy 350s. Those are like the standard shoe.
Oh, those are real.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just making stuff up. You actually know the names of these shoes.
No, they literally
listen. Single men have to have a hobby after a certain age.
We gotta get Karoshi laid somehow from over here in America.
We've got to pimp our Englander.
Yeah, I don't think you even need to pimp that hard.
He comes back after
face it, you can buy anything on the internet from abroad these days.
Yeah, just get yourself a Ukrainian girl. You know, there's got to be a flesh peddler out there ready to give you the bride of your dreams.
It's not a week that goes by that you see some fucking dodgy newspaper article that's basically said like, Ukrainian girl in tears as British man throws her out on the street. And it's like, oh God, don't want to know about that.
Maybe she wouldn't swallow.
Ukrainian girl leaves her husband who's currently fighting in Ukraine war, for British man that she's been housed with. It's like, class fucking act. And they're all in the newspapers and shit like that. So
when the dick is long distance, is it really a dick?
I mean,
no.
You're ex-military. I think you're ex-military too.
There was a reason. There was a reason that I played the game, but there was no long-term commitment to it. Every single fucking relationship in the military that I saw would not survive the first deployment. Didn't. If you were lower enlisted, you were fucked. Just don't even think about it. You're gonna get your girl's gonna be a young 20-something-year-old, still charged with that energy, still wanting to explore who the fuck she is, not getting absolutely every night by you,
while you're on deployment.
surrounded by handsome, in shape, athletic people. And usually what ends up happening is
horny people.
They get an enlisted guy, they get on post, through marrying, and then they'll start swinging in the officer barracks, trying to land themselves an officer baby, because once they do that, they're set for life.
Oh, the officer, you've explained this to me before. You get that officer baby, and then you're, as you said, you're set, because then they got to pay.
Yeah,
but the main thing you should do as a young kid is join the military. You get married before you go to basic training. Right as you get out of basic training, when you get moved to on post, you buy a Challenger, some sort of cheaper sports car, and then you get deployed, and Jody comes in and takes care of your lady while you're gone. Keeps the
engine running.
It keeps the engine running. That's right. Keeps that thing moist for you, so you come back.
When people start while you're away.
When people start breaking out the abacus in order to figure out how many months it's been since that baby been put in there, that's when sad stories are made.
Oh dear.
That's why a lot of people fight for the
just like the sad
rights.
Fucking story of signing a contract when you're a new artist to grow your brand and then being stuck in that same contract year in and year out. I know that he produced Power under the E.M.I record labels, and I fucking love that song.
So to the folks,
Power is like one of the big kind of workout songs. It's always on in the gym. Loads of people walk out to it when they're fighting and shit like that, especially in the amateur circuit. So yes,
it's a lot of energy in that song, and it's a medley of an admixture of his work. He doesn't fucking like that song. He stated that he hates Power, and it's a damn shame because I disagree with him. I think Power's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's probably because it attained the kind of
I'm living in the 21st century, doing something mean to it. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking good words. Right?
Did the tweet of DEF CON 3 come before or after the interview with Chips and Drinks and whatever it's called?
What do you mean by death? Are you saying DEF CON 3?
So his actual reason that they started labeling this guy. All right, how can I break it up? You know who does it well? I got a clip. Ready?
Okay, go on.
Marlon Brando met with Jewish leaders to apologize for comments he made on Larry King Live. Among them that, quote, Hollywood is run by Jews. The Jewish leaders accepted the actor's apology and announced that Brando is now free to work again.
Do you know that
His
though,
comments.
if the tweet came before or after?
I don't live his fucking life. Honestly, the social media aspect of it and the constant timeline and the fact that they're always shifting what is said. I only know that the precise fucking tweet that really set off
was that
his shit show
was the
DEFCON.
The reason I'm bringing that up, and I'm curious because
And
normal people
DEFCON
who
3,
just,
do you know what it stands for?
That's high alert.
It's defensive posturing.
That's
it
right.
means call to arms.
Most people that peruse the internet or get their news get it from top tier news sites: CNN, Fox News, MSNBC.
Those are the same
ABC.
motherfuckers that lied about how the war in Iraq was going on.
Of course, so they lie. But the one thing they're bringing up is the DEFCON 3, and they're saying, "Oh, he said DEFCON 3." They're not even talking about it being a typo, which Kanye said. That's really the thing. DEFCON 3 and other anti-Semitic remarks is what they're bringing up.
But
that's why I was curious if he doubled down.
Whose definition of anti-Semitic? Are we talking about the language definition, where it's a subroot of Greek in any Greek
There's
language?
Something I don't understand that I need explained to me. Are you saying DEFCON 3?
He misspelled it as DEATH.
Right, okay. Rather than DEF, which is the correct
right,
terminology.
Correct.
And one of his original comments was how there is an influence in the music industry, in the black music industry, that is run by this Jewish mafia. And it's interesting because when I was looking at that, have you ever heard of the JDL?
No.
So it was something called the Jewish Defense League. Now, what was it? The Jewish Defense League was suspected of being involved in extorting rap stars, including the late Tupac Shakur and Eazy-E, according to newly released FBI documents. The files, which were opened this week with scattered redactions, said that the JDL, the American Kern-found group that supports the use of violent defense of Jewish interests, would make death threats to numerous rap stars and then provide them with protection in exchange for fees in the neighborhood of $50,000. The scheme involved name redacted and other subjects making telephonic death threats to the rap star. Subject then interceded by contacting the victim and offering protection for a fee. The victim and their family are taken to a safe haven, usually a private estate, and are protected by gun-toting bodyguards associated with the Jewish Defense League. And this is a thing that happened.
Who released this? What is this? Some kind of memo?
It was it was a memo. If you're looking for the archive, it was a full field investigation instituted in 04/15/1997, and they were doing a preliminary inquiry that was initiated in a Los Angeles field office to corroborate source information on an organized crime figure.
Not that long ago.
And they were breaking it down. Well, you know what happened to Michael Jackson?
Didn't he?
Michael Jackson also
a lot of things
snapped.
happened to MJ.
Well, Michael Jackson, man, if there was ever a guy who could pull in a fucking crowd, it was Michael Jackson.
And pulling some boys?
You know what, every time I hear about that shit, it always happened after he made that song.
What was the song?
Well, for Jay-Z, it was the story of OJ.
That was absolutely wild. That you said that, and I went and read about it. Oh my gosh!
And remember, every time that this is pulled up, it's always "How dare you?" You know, there's a lot of emotional. They're always calling the emotions of the crowd.
Yeah,
and Kanye is using that perfectly. This is why I think this guy is fucking top tier brainiac.
I think he's using his third eye.
I think he's activated first off, he's tapping into deeply rooted fears, right? And he's using that. The deeply rooted fear is in all media, you can never joke or even comment about Jewish influence. And this is a fact.
Absolutely.
This is
never.
Like it doesn't matter how many Christians you want to mock. You know, it doesn't matter. But the second that you talk about any media related to the Jews, it's always in a positive light or it's anti-Semitism.
You say it positively and it's A-okay, but if it's a negative thing, I mean, how negative can it be?
We're going to find out with Kanye West.
And if you just, okay, yeah, touche.
That's what I'm really what I'm seeing is we've adopted this period of just bullshit cancel culture where nobody can express opinion without being an online scroll of snapshots, right? Yeah. Where everybody's judged by the modern day sensibilities of everything that happened in the past, completely ignoring what was going on at the time.
And you would think that it would only be available
to
comedians.
Blank.
Now they're getting canceled as well.
They would look at you blankly if you said that before 9/11, nobody gave a fuck about airplane security.
Yeah.
That's gonna blow my kids' minds when they get older.
They would not. The kids never experienced pre 9/11 airplanes, right?
Well, I flew on the day because what they did, at least in the UK. When you, and possibly even Europe, there was a decision that was made right away across the board. And on the day that I flew was the day that they decided, oh, if you're taking liquids on board, you can only take so much on board and it has to be in a clear bottle. And they didn't tell anyone this was happening. So people were like straight up just like pouring like liters of vodka, all their drinks, all their like high-end cosmetics straight into the fucking bin. And they were not fucking about. And so me boarding my flight, which normally in the airport that I was in, I want to say it was in Manchester. Manchester can be a bit of a shit.
But at the same flip side, they'll also say you can buy a sealed water bottle. So they literally prevent you from getting free water.
Oh, yeah. And they were like, yeah, hair gel. Yeah, get it in the airport. Yeah, that makeup. Yeah, we sell it. Get it in the airport. So it was just like, it was definitely one of those. And I'm a big proprietor of that just being the theater of the mind. So airport security is totally theater of the mind. It's all big song and dance, and it doesn't actually protect you.
Well,
the
absolutely.
amount of times that I've accidentally gone onto a plane with a fucking lighter accidentally in my suitcase or in my pocket, and I didn't know until I got to the other side. I won't say who, but someone I know accidentally took a pair of scissors, like full pair of scissors.
Oh no! They might do arts and crafts.
No, we're talking like a sizable pair of scissors. You could definitely stab a motherfucker with one of these. So,
and what is a pencil?
It went from UK to another airport in Europe, to another airport in Europe, to Asia, to another airport elsewhere in Asia. And it was only when it hit Japan, coming back to the UK, that the Japanese were like, oh, hang on, what's this? Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. Yeah, you can't bring that on board. Okay, no problem. Put it in the bin. Didn't even realize he had it. And you're talking like easily 6-inch, 7-inch scissors.
Yeah, what a fucking pussy society that we have, that people can bring on shoe bombs, but we can't bring on scissors.
They won't let you bring in liquids, as you were saying, liquids over 3 ounces. You know what they do with those liquids when they find them? They put them in a trash can. First of all, they take them because it could potentially be a bomb. Then they throw it in the trash with all the other supposed bombs that they collected. That it's not some sort of contained box. It's like made out of steel in case they go off. No. It's just a trash can right next to everybody.
Well, the more you fuck around, the more you find out. There's a large scale here. All it takes is one motherfucker to use some sort of mercurial-based container. No. Or just a bottle of nitrous.
Yeah.
I think the funniest meme that I've heard about that is, oh yeah, we all want to try the airport jungle juice.
I just don't get it. You know, you drop 2 buildings and then the security on planes goes way out there if you can't bring water. But there's like how many car deaths every year? And we're you know, we still get to drive our vehicles. No one's checking us out before we get into them.
I'll tell you.
In all honesty, like if it's like, okay, yeah, we want to check for explosives. Okay. There's sniffer dogs you can get for that. There's also machines that you can get for that, which I'm fairly sure that they have at Manchester Airport and other airports and stuff like that. So they should just have those full stop. And then occasionally they'll come around with a swab and swab you like that. I don't know if that's for drugs. I'm more inclined to think it's probably for bombs and things like that.
Do you think Kanye West is going to get banned off airlines now?
That's
they banned off that. JP Morgan banned Kanye West, and this is where I have a problem with how they're addressing what he said is that Epstein can sell and fuck kids and keep his bank account, but they banned Kanye West and the My Pillow guy and truckers
For words.
for words.
Words.
And yet nobody's stepping forward. There's no, hey, everybody stop shitting on this guy. You know, there's no the good Jew. There's only everybody must be the Jewish mafia suppressing Kanye West because he said something that was interpreted as bad. And what I'm worried about is that this is going to be a fucking mindset that's applied to everybody. It's Kanye West now, a billionaire who lost the equivalent of $400 million in one deal for expressing an opinion in a country that supposedly has the First Amendment.
You have the right to free speech, but not the right free from consequences.
Which is a threat.
Yes.
That is an actual threat.
Absolutely. Say what we want you to say, or else we will destroy you.
Remove your possibility of making money
We'll take
in your
food
own
out of your mouth.
country,
That's right.
and we want you to die. That's what it is. We want you to die. So every time, this is my concern is, sure, okay, you want to punish Kanye West. He's trying to use it to break his record contract. It's a brilliant play by him to use the culture that's been developed to have no forgiveness at all. You think this is a good idea, except when it's used against you. And it will be, because they never step away from it. The Patriot Act isn't repealed. It keeps getting re-upped.
That's for our safety.
The Smith-Mundt Act, which prevented propaganda, was repealed in 2013. And
Propaganda's
they
yummy.
never, ever fucking addressed how they do it now to us. The government's talking about removing TikTok, but they're doing it with soft language because they're making money. And now it feels like every corporation decides what language and tools of control it is, and that they decide that it's okay to shit on white people. It's okay to drag down their culture into the mud and stomp on it for a profit. But they rotate who to shit on. And nobody seems to see how bad an idea this is gonna be when it's your turn in the barrel. Everybody who gets fucked in the barrel gets their turn. There's only so long that you can say a thing and nothing will happen. And that's really what this control is about. It's about dividing people and getting them arguing about things rather than noticing our belts are tightening every fucking day. And really, that's what I hope that Ye ends up doing, is he ends up being like, hey, why are we talking about this and not talking about, you know, $2.7 trillion on Alex Jones means that Ukraine gets a $500 billion AIDS package, you know?
500 billion? Do they give them more?
No, Germany is going to give them something like 500 million a year or 500 billion a year while they're starving and
Going to be freezing this winter because no one can afford natural gas and anything to heat their homes.
They're going to get more money to Ukraine.
Yeah, speaking of which, how have you guys managed in regards to all the shit that's gone down with the storms in Florida?
Being a fucking thug. You got to hustle every day and not really deal with the bullshit. And
if you want to know, Karoshi, Florida's economy is really, really strong. DeSantis already had a bunch of money put to the side for something like this to happen. We also got federal
But
aid.
what was Kanye West coming down here to give us a fucking speech about surviving?
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
Right?
If he wants to run for prez in 2024, which he's alluded to, then where was the fucking optics of him coming to Florida?
He ran in 2020 as well.
Yeah, but he got his name there. He got his name on the ballot, and he got votes.
He did get votes.
I'm not saying it's not like, you know, Newt Gingrich or whoever motherfucker wants to throw their name on the ballot, or the Tea Party. Remember when the Tea Party used to be the party people talked about because it was new, and then the Green?
Yeah, why would they talk about the Tea Party all the time? Because the taxed enough already, right? That was like their slogan, the Tea Party. That's why they called themselves that.
They wanted to throw the tea out, and then they were made a mocking joke, and then they were thrown under the bus because it's not popular.
White supremacists once again.
It's much easier to control a conversation when you agree that the conversation is actually needing to happen, and that you need to choose a side, yes or no. That is how they indoctrinate your mind.
Dude.
They take over your vibration by putting you down in fear. And what I'm saying is, if a spelling mistake can get somebody canceled, then at this point we all need to fucking say something.
So what was can you read the exact tweet for me? Because in regards to this DEF CON 3.
But brother, what is it? You want me to be? I've quoted it, but you want me to?
Okay.
You want me to find?
You can't actually read the tweet
I don't
itself
do Twitter because I feel like Twitter
cancel.
until Elon Musk is buying Twitter this Friday.
It's essentially it was
No, not essentially. I'm talking about something right now. Elon Musk is buying Twitter this Friday.
Yeah.
After this Friday, I'm gonna see if Twitter's not this mind-controlled, brainlet fucking echo chamber that it has been, and then it opens up to actual discourse between people.
Well, give it a week so we can fire the 75% of the employees and
I hope
rebuild.
they do. I hope they fire every one of those motherfuckers, because it's been really weird for me to watch as a veteran of the United States.
Maybe you could get a job there afterwards. I'm sure they have something you could do
Why
from
the fuck
home.
would I want to curate what other people say? I don't give a fuck.
You wouldn't be. You'd be working
It's
for
what people
Elon.
do that defines you, and that's really the thing.
Alan, you could turn Twitter into a beacon of free speech.
If I turned it into a beacon of free speech, it would look like Middle Eastern Twitter.
Can we do that? Can we start?
Yeah, absolutely.
Audio trademark Middle Eastern Twitter.
Yeah, why not?
Oh man.
Honestly, I feel like what the big shit talk here is that if we allow fear to control the narrative, and this is what I think should be the lesson, not this bullshit of spelling mistake and everybody piles together. You know, the rules for thee and not for me between Kanye talking about the media influence is that,
which is what he said was
Sarah Silverman can wear blackface.
Yeah.
Still has her career. It gets her some positions removed. Still has her career.
Oh yeah, she's
who's that radio jock?
Howard Stern
can wear blackface. Queen Latifah sketch.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
I fucking despise Howard Stern. He's such a.
But it was edgy humor.
Fucking scumbag.
Edgy humor.
Yeah, it's not even like, okay, I didn't even realize he did blackface until you mentioned it to me. But even prior to that, he's just he preys on people. And
well, of course
the
he
fact
does.
that he then got involved with America's Got Talent or like whatever.
Preying on people
program.
is always profitable when you have connections.
Yeah, the reason he's on America's Got Talent.
Jerry Seinfeld didn't fucking get his position because he was an altruist and showed the best in humanity. He got the position that he got because he showed human misery and he could manufacture a good story. Howard Stern's skill was always to bait people into an emotional response. It's just when it's rules for fucking thee and not for me that we start getting questions.
Yeah.
Questions like, hey, what do you mean that we can't say words on a text format and you call yourself a platform? You're a publisher at that point. You're not a platform. It's the FBI, it's the alphabet agency's fucking job to bait people to say stupid shit online, right?
Right.
It really is. It's not the responsibility of me to be your parent to protect your feelings.
Yeah.
And I really, really can't wait for World War III. I
it's
really, really fucking can't. Because I feel like we've had it too good for too long.
I can wait a few more months. I don't have enough ammo yet.
Too good for too long for us to be worrying about what a rapper says. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're in an actual fucking situation where people are having problems getting their rent, but let's give a shit about what a rapper says. Let's make that the greatest thing. And this is the fucking the titty twister. To me, still, I'm gonna go back. Is Epstein didn't lose his bank account access?
No, he was in the club. He was in the club that you and I aren't in.
The Cool Kids Club, right?
Cool Kids Club.
That's
We're
what
not
it's
in
all
that
about.
club. Yeah.
Cool Kids, the Pool Kids Club.
So, I mean, I maybe got, let's say, like $6 in my account, but
You
if
can
I
fuck
said
a
something like that on
kid,
Twitter, they'd probably shut
And
me
you're
down
good.
too.
But if you don't fuck a kid and you don't like kid fucking and you comment on that,
Yeah.
you're bad.
Epstein was charged and jailed for kid fucking. Then he got out. Normally, you can't.
Well, he
bounce,
got a deal because he was
deal.
working for the United States government.
But normally, you can't bounce back from kid fucking. Hurting a dog and fucking a kid, you can't bounce back from. Epstein did it. He bounced back from that, and he still hung out with elites like Bill Gates,
Barack
Obama. What's that one?
Well, remember, you can't say these names.
My bad.
Yeah, you're gonna get spanked.
Depends on your definition of what ill is. Bill.
No, it depends
Clinton.
on what your definition of hanging out is.
That's right. I didn't travel on his plane 8 times. I don't know what you're talking about.
I did not have sexual relationships with that woman.
That's right. He bounced back from that.
Dude,
hang
the
out
hell of a
with those
PR
people.
campaign. But like we said,
Seriously, man.
it's so easy to want to fucking hate someone now, to make a demon that you can slay. Kanye West is the biggest black man they've ever sacrificed. And they're doing it for social media points. And they don't even see the end root of this is everybody doesn't trust each other. You know, they did a fucking study about men and friends and girls and friends, you know, women and friends.
Yeah.
And how we have less friends now. And that's because social media.
As a society, we have less friends?
We have less friends. Our social group is more and more isolated because we've outsourced friends to devices.
Damn, so your friends aren't even really your friends. They're just pixels on a screen that you type words to and you get some sort of response.
That's Instagram in a nutshell.
There's no
TikTok in a nutshell.
There's no eye contact anymore.
Well, and you've got to notice that most of the popular mediums now that aren't music that's pushed on the radio or on television, what they do is they always have a very short message and they use a lot of scene cuts to trick your brain into paying attention to see what happens next.
See, that's interesting. I don't like when, let's say in movies, they do a lot of those scene cuts. Camera over here, camera over there. What I do notice pretty much every single time that it happens is when it's one long continuous shot. Freaking love that.
Because it relaxes your brain.
Yeah.
You can enjoy the experience.
I like it.
Here's a flip side.
Flip side.
Watch The Kardashians.
No.
One episode
Absolutely
of it.
not.
And watch how they cut one frame out of The Kardashians every few seconds so that you see it skip and it tricks your brain into seeing that they're moving in an odd way. It doesn't violate the statutes of the FCC, so they're not going to ever remove that. But that's as close to brainwashing as you could get.
Really? So you're saying that every few minutes, seconds, whatever, they'll put like one frame in it, like they used to do back in the day? With
I'm saying corporations are using they're using language to control people. You can't say certain words and be associated with a brand and still hold your job. They're also applying that to independent businessmen.
Yeah.
So an independent businessman, Kanye West, doesn't want to be a part of his contracts anymore. He tries suing to get out of his E.M.I contract. He can't do it.
But then he knows everybody will be up in arms if he says a couple of words.
So he says more and more increasingly egregious things.
Oh, not
he does
egregious
it because he loves shock outrage.
Egregious to the people that will find it offensive, not to us.
The thing is, it's just words. It's not actions. It's not like he's going around jackbooted, stomping, and waving his fist in the air going, we must destroy for the sake of our people.
All he was literally doing
and he
was...
still hasn't been dropped by E.M.I. After all this, all the companies...
Everything that he's fucking done.
You know why? You know why he hasn't been dropped yet? Money.
I wonder why.
Because
he'll make them lots of money.
Because he's going to make tons of fucking money. This is going to make him tons of fucking money. It will. At the end of the day, it either ruins him, so it gets him out of what he wants, or it draws so much attention to what he's saying that it can never be unsaid. And that's the real fear. That's where the slapdown is coming from, is that you can kill a man, but you cannot kill an idea.
Yeah.
Now the idea is loose. It's out there.
Just doing a bit of research into E.M.I. Apparently, it's a record label that's built before other record labels.
Yeah, it used to be called
it
phonogram or
was 4,
phonogram
now
or
it's
something.
3.
Back
Beg
in,
my
I
pardon.
think it was created in 1900. Original company was from 1900 to 1917.
1931.
Phenomenal, though.
The labels included E.M.I Records, Parlophone, Virgin Records, and
Parlophone.
Capitol Records.
When was Parlophone created?
Parlophone, that was...
But imagine being pimped
Right?
and feeling like you're pimped the entire time, like you're a hoe. And really, that's what this is about. A hoe's been mistreated, and the hoe can't get any help. And he walks around and goes to people who should know that he's been a hoe, but they don't give a fuck. They're not extending an olive branch out to him. And that's my fear is, really, once you start turning your back on your fellow hoes, you only got your bros. And then when your bros become hoes, you're hosed.
Which is a shame, is the things he said on the Lex Friedman podcast were not
shocking to you.
We're not shocked. He was literally just pointing out,
when you live in a fear state and you point out and you feel like you're being personally attacked.
Yeah.
Because remember, this is all mental.
Personally attacked. So what I'm waking up every day being like, how can I be a victim?
Yes.
Every single morning.
And victim culture is popular in America.
Oh, yes.
You can't even fucking say that it's not.
Oh, yes.
In fact, we're watching the consequence of the victim culture culminate in transsexuals in women's sports. Watching people like Brenda Fox get her skull cracked.
That was at the UFC fight?
Or watching that recent case where that girl gets nuggeted by volleyball going at 70 miles an hour.
Oh, give her brain damage, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like,
but see, this is the thing.
Do these women know that they're playing against, or in competition against
men?
These persons who have transitioned.
I mean, you're asking if their spy network is complete, so they always are properly informed.
I've heard, although I don't know, I can't quote it, but I'm sure there was like some MMA fighter who was like, oh shit, this girl's like rising up the MMA and like absolutely beating 7 shades of shit out of all these women. And it wasn't UFC, it was one of the smaller
7 shades
companies.
of shit.
Yeah, and then it turns out it was like, oh, actually, they transitioned. It's like, well, hang on a second. Did all these women know that what they were going up against? Did they know they were going up against someone who
wouldn't fucking matter if they did?
No, you might have a point here.
Who then like grew up a man.
Are you saying was it done with women consent?
Well,
maybe it was non-consensual, but have you ever watched like more than several
leave
episodes?
It to a man to be non-consensual,
That's right. As several episodes of Jerry Springer, there have been some people on there where they, oh, I'm so in love with you, we're going to be together forever. I was born a man. And they're so shocked. How could you bang somebody for 2 years? And I mean, I know it's staged. I eventually found out. But when you're younger, like, how could you bang somebody for 2 years?
You are the wrestling fan that's burned.
The wrestling fan that's burned.
I
was never that much of a sucker to get into WWE. Wrestling.
You just said I'm not that much of a sucker to get in WWE, but you thought that Jerry Springer got real whole people who couldn't figure out that a Peter wasn't something that completer.
Have you been to Bithlow?
Have I been to a place where people are really fucking stupid? Yes.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, I come from a trailer park.
There you
I think I've mentioned this before.
You have.
Yeah?
But that's the reason why I thought it might be a little...
The thing about trailer park people is they know who they are. They're making it.
That's the meth? They're making it in life. Okay.
They're making it in life.
And
they're
meth.
at least not homeless.
Almost.
Right? That's the greatest fucking thing
They're at
accomplished.
least not homeless.
They're at least not homeless. All right? And that is a life goal for some of us fucking renters, right?
That's true. That's
a life goal for some of us renters.
You own your own house and you can move it with you wherever you go.
Right?
Yes.
Or my favorite, if you really want to say fuck the system and you want to have a laugh, buy property, but instead of building a house, put a houseboat there and put it on a pond.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Because if you put it on a pond, then say when you have something like a flood in Florida, instead of drowning in the motherfucking waters, you just lift up with your houseboat and you're anchored, so you're fine. That's
a fantastic idea. I'm like looking up at the ceiling because now I have big dreams of digging out a pond.
By the way, if I ever
putting a
did
sailboat
a
there.
thing where I bought land and I knew the area flooded, I'd
Yeah.
just build a houseboat. Why not?
That's genius. A little walkway to get to dry land, and that way when you have those 500-year
It
floods.
wouldn't even need to be about a houseboat. You could literally make a surface with like plastic barrels, and then you could hide those barrels.
Yeah,
and
true.
then as soon
You
as the
could.
water, and then as soon as the water comes up, it just rises.
They should
Right.
be making all houses like this, considering apparently global warming, right?
But I would argue that who gives a fuck? Anybody who builds in a place that this is the thing I don't understand.
Oh, he's holding his temples
Tornado
now.
Valley, and you're in a trailer that has and tornadoes hit this place. You kind of figure out move, and if you don't move, is it a tragedy?
No.
So for Floridians, I can understand if the water's never risen that high, that you're like, this fucking sucks. But if you know the water's been that high and you still do nothing, what do you do? What do you say? Is it a tragedy?
It's not. It's not. And I'll tell you why. People are doing this on the beaches. For some reason, even though the sea levels are supposed to rise by like 12 feet, their banks are still giving out loans to people to buy houses right on the beach.
Kanye West is testing the child-proof locks of social media.
Go on. The child-proof locks of social media?
If you're thinking about the way that they treat us by constantly making everything child-proof and safe and less hot and less warm with blunted edges and sockets in the thing, they treat us like toddlers. Kanye West is the child-proof lock tester of social media right now. He is the equivalent of, no, you can't say that, honey.
Oh, he's the one giving the example.
Yes.
Here's things you can't say
on the internet.
Or in public.
Wouldn't that be a useful fucking channel to have?
Yeah, they should teach us that in schools too, along
Right?
with taxes and simple
These are the
mechanics.
things that you cannot do according to everyone who gives money.
You want to talk?
If you want to say bad things about politicians, do not say it in public.
You can say bad things about politicians in public. If you want to say bad things about a different ethnicity,
Can you say things like everybody who contributed to forcing people and coercing them to invalidate their body, their choice for a protection scheme on others, needs to embrace the Nuremberg trials, and it needs to fucking happen?
Sure.
Because I'm still surprised. I'm still surprised hearing about the European Union, where that guy stated during an interview, what was his name? I sent it to you. Bob Ross? Not Bob Ross. He's fucking fucking gone. The guy who invested,
fetus over here,
who talked
fetus
about
over there.
Pfizer and the speed of science. We were investigating the vaccine at the speed of science.
That's right. They were saying they were giving it to people. They didn't know exactly what it would do, and as the results were coming out, that's when they were.
And the EU commissioner asked for a refund of dosages, like $300 million.
Did they give it to him?
But we're getting to the point where you can't say these words without getting slapped on the wrist. So what's the point of talking? What's the point of freedom of conversation? If you're only allowed to obey, you're a dog, you're an animal, you're a herd animal. You have no respect. You're harmless, you're toothless.
Why is it that you can say things about gay people or black people as a white person and still keep your career, but you can't say things, whether they're lies or truth, about Jewish folk without getting completely destroyed? Seems like a total power imbalance.
Well, isn't power plus privilege the recipe?
Power plus privilege is...
And really what you're getting into is what's the mindset that says if we're all on a dartboard, it's okay to hit the bullseye? You're asking, why is it okay? And the reason is because people have accepted that it's okay. Boiled down to, the large group's consensus has been taught from childbirth that there are certain things that you can say and certain things you can't say. It's okay to say, I hate white people. because they're ideological. They're fucking cowards. They have no culture, they have no unity, and they will sell anybody out for a profit. For any corporation that'll give them a paycheck.
But what you can't say...
You couldn't say that if it was about an Arab.
Yeah, you can't say...
Because you'd get canceled.
That's right.
And see, that's what we've allowed is feelings to dictate conversation. Feels over reals. I don't give a fuck. I give a fuck that a literal rapist can keep his bank account, but Kanye West misspells a tweet, and suddenly it's a dog pile.
I mean, that was just the start, was the misspelling of the tweet, because then he went on the...
Oh, he went on and said more shit, which is why I refer, go look at the shit that he said.
Where'd you post it at so people can go see?
Go fuck yourself. It's called Google. I'm tired of giving people all the sources and acting like their father.
We're doing a show. We're talking about these things.
Right. You want to bring it up, Jamie, onto YouTube and then get copyright infringed? No, you can't.
Can we do links?
Can we do links?
Yeah.
You want to read out the verbal fucking link right now?
No. Do you want to copy and paste it somewhere?
Do I want to do that? What I'm asking is, do I want to do that in the middle of while we're talking about it, interrupting my train of thought to do that? No, I don't want to do that.
What about afterwards?
What about afterwards?
Yeah.
By the time somebody gets 50 minutes into the podcast to listen to what we're talking about, the keywords are the only thing that matters.
Okay.
I mean, if need be, we can always put them up in the
Discord,
subject, or we can pin a message on YouTube. These are two things that we could do in order to make sure people have those links.
Did you know that if you get it in a playlist and that playlist gets a copyright infringement, the person who gets the copyright infringement on the playlist can then go into your own account on YouTube? What I'm saying is cancel culture has infested and multi-stacked everything. At this point, what they use is the technique of shadow banning. Shadow banning was the principle of deplatforming, like taking Kanye West off of his concerts because of what he said, right? That's his ban. He's not dead. They haven't killed him. But as long as he gets a microphone, he's going to repeat the same thing until he gets out of the EMI contract. And even then, at that point, he could use it as a political stance to see how much votes he can generate. Because it's all about a popularity contest. Every single bit of this branding bullshit is that the reason that they get deplatformed is because it's bad PR to be called out negatively. It's okay to talk shit about Christianity because that's popular. It's popular because it gets produced constantly.
Okay, I've actually seen the tweet now. So the Washington Post copied and pasted it. So.
And what does it say in quotes?
Okay, go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
So, go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
Yeah.
Was the start.
Okay, this can be looked up. Earlier you said that all of this stuff was scrubbed off the internet.
Right.
That's why I was saying to share those links. Because I thought it was off the internet. People would want to see it.
No. What they do is they pull it off of ease the search. You have to dig into it. That's really... So if it's a popular opinion that they can sell brand behind...
Then it's going to be the first thing that pops up.
Then it's going to be the first thing. That's what they're...
okay. When you say you scrubbed it and then you had those clips, I thought those were the only ones. That's all I was like... You should probably post those so people can see for themselves.
No.
So it's Kanye West on Lex Friedman podcast. You could find it, and then you can actually hear exactly what he said.
That's why I said in the beginning of the podcast to go to Lex Friedman and watch the podcast on Kanye West to figure out.
I thought it was
because you know what's pissed me off about all of this is that I've bought 2 of my nieces Yeezy trainers for Christmas, and I can't afford to get them anything else. So. Thanks, Yeezy. Cheers. You've just poisoned Christmas for me. I appreciate you, dude.
For what reason?
Yeah, for what reason?
Because they will not be wearing them. I'll give it to them because I still think they're cool trainers, but yeah.
For what reason would they not wear them?
Probably because their mom and dad might have something to say about that. So
okay, well then sell that to a neo-Nazi and make a ton of profit,
or
right?
Just gift all of the women in your family a bottle of Vagisil.
for their dry ass cooches.
Yeah, exactly. For
Again,
it's shoes.
you
You
know,
already bought them.
You ever people would fucking die watching Sanford and Son now with the level of just pussydom that's in humor in the media, and
Yes,
this is why I'm looking forward to World War III, and I'm going to reiterate it. Is first off, as a veteran, good luck, brother. Second off, learn how to duck, and third off is, once participation awards were given in zealotry and we were allowing people to just, hey, you're special no matter who you are, bullying was pushed down. And as bullying was pushed down, the more bullies go down, right? The more shaming got popular. Remember,
Was the verbiage changed from bullying to shaming?
No. Bullying used to be, I'm going to beat the shit out of you for being weird.
Then shaming was,
Then shaming was, you know, you can't, you can't hit me, but I can say whatever shit I want. And then they started in school, because remember, they teach you in school every rule they really want you to follow.
Yeah.
They want you to sit down, shut up for 8 hours, and listen to somebody else say that they're better than you because they know more.
It's such a shame they got rid of the bullying thing, because then women started getting really mouthy.
They really did.
Talking back. The 50s were a great time.
Jesus Christ.
But it's okay, because all you have to do is send them over to Iran. Go ahead, don't wear that hijab. See what happens.
That's right. You know, shove them off to Epstein's Island.
Yeah.
You know.
Give them a fucking turn on Epstein's Island, right?
These would be wives and stuff I'm talking about, and they'd be much too old for Epstein.
Right?
They're
not kids.
Yeah, they're not kids.
Prime of their life, being baited by 𝐂𝐍𝐍𝐄𝐃 Maxwell, who, again, her privilege was, all of her record was 100% expunged forever because her sister works for the Israeli intelligence agency.
Wait, whatever happened to her? Did they tell us it was life in prison?
She's still in jail, I say, in quotes.
Yeah, she's in jail, but she's bitching about the whole thing. Have you heard about the interviews that are coming out from that? Yeah, she's getting interviews.
She's getting interviews. So a child, an accused and convicted child liaison officer. What's the most PR title I can give her to put on a resume? Give me the most bullshit title I could say for her.
I don't know. But what I would say was she was in one prison and then bitched about it and said, "Oh, I'm afraid for my life. People want to kill me here." It was like, I find that hard to believe. But yet, lo and behold, she was moved to another prison and she was like, "Oh, this isn't much better." And I'm like, "Well, hang on a second. You're not going to prison to have a nice time. You're going to prison because you've been a bad person. You've done bad things." How many years did she get? Let's find out.
20.
So, she got 20. So she's probably going to at least do 10. Well, maybe even
Depends
less.
on good behavior and if the parole is granted.
Yeah, I mean, it's more likely she's going to get closer to like around about the 8 mark, I think. She's probably already
she never lose her bank accounts either.
No. She'll be out of there in 10 years. Lickety split. Just like she did on those
JP Morgan and Chase didn't cancel 𝐂𝐍𝐍𝐄𝐃 Maxwell's accounts.
Probably because they're all in cahoots with each other.
Didn't cancel Harry Weinstein's accounts.
And the fact that a lot of actors and actresses knew what was happening and nobody said anything.
But what they really work off of is underground symbolism and a cult of power. Like I said, they genuinely do not like to this is really the fear, right? Is that the fear is that every single problem in the world can be boiled down to Kanye West's DEFCON 3, right? That's what the fear is.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is there's always complicit helpers who are there to make money profiting off of human suffering.
Yeah.
Who would be those that are profiting off the human suffering?
Anybody who has a vested interest, who makes money. But let me give you an example. The adrenochrome pills they just found in China, which are harvested from humans. They detected and found that there was traces of human in each of the pills.
And who was making these? Was it China?
Nobody knows because nobody's going to own up to that shit.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's adrenochrome. The organ harvesting industry. The human trafficking problem we have in Florida off of Orange Blossom Trail. Human trafficking It's fucking profitable. There was a Jewish organ harvesting scheme where they would take organs, give them $10,000, and then ship them to Israel. To sell from they take them from Israelites for $10,000 and sell them in America for $150,000. Successful business.
As a side note, was it the company Wayfair? I don't want to say the wrong one, but which company?
Want to talk about the weird names that were attached to?
They had bookshelves that were $10,000
called Jonathan.
The exact same names as little kids who had just recently disappeared.
It might shock some people when I say this words out loud because they like the happy world that everybody loves each other and gets along. But human trafficking, including kids, is really fucking profitable. It makes money. Hand over fist money. Yeah.
I have a question.
Go on.
In order for like a transaction of a human being to happen, there is the seller and then there is the purchaser, yeah?
Yes.
This Maxwell girl, woman, she's been convicted, basically said, yeah, you and Epstein were involved in this. Yet not one fucking person has been put in front of the stand or brought to question in regards to, well, you're selling all these girls. Who you selling them to?
Side note, anybody who's interested
not one fucking person. So normally it'd be a case of like, you there, you've done a bad thing. What did you do? Oh, well, I was a pimp. Okay, and you were pimping this woman. Yeah, you're going to jail. Yeah, but you can't prove it because you can't get the person who I've pimped it to. Like, you know what I mean? Okay, yeah, fine, we'll grab someone. Get someone. Yep, you pimped it to that person. Yep, you're going to jail.
Absolutely. Who was the buyer? Who was buying them?
That we've got a whole fucking list. And
you can't see it.
So there was a 10-year investigation dubbed Operation Bid Rig. Operation Bid Rig was the Jewish smuggling ring where rabbis were involved, where they were harvesting human organs.
Rabbis?
Rabbis. Jewish leaders of the synagogue
were harvesting organs.
The holy people, the people who teach the word. Yeah, it was called Operation Bid Rig.
Bid, B-I-D.
B-I-D space R-I-G.
Jeez, and when was that upended? Or is it still under investigation?
Was a long-term investigation into political corruption in New Jersey conducted by Federal Bureau of Investigation, yada, yada, yada. Trying to find something.
Jeez, that's brutal.
It's just exploiting human suffering.
Operation Bid Rig 3. The third phase of the investigation, Operation Bid Rig, began after an individual identified news sources as real estate developer, blah, 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 Ocean Tower Ship, arrested on charges of committing $50 million in bank fraud in May of 2006.
Oh, this is recent.
Dweck, a well-known member of the Syrian Jewish community whose parents founded Deal Yeshiva, agreed to become a cooperating witness in the FBI infiltrating money laundering network connecting Israel and Syrian Jewish communities, Brooklyn, New York, blah, blah. I'm not seeing anything in regards to
Israel. Rabbis, human organs in Israel.
Yeah. Human trafficking. Oh, yeah. Human organ trafficking. Boom. Yeah. That was, So money laundering, human organ trafficking. Yeah, there was one case of that, but for the most part it was money laundering and political corruption.
And if you ever want to look at in August 2009, an article by Donald Bostrom in the Swedish daily newspaper Aftonbladet, and that's one of the things that he published was something called the New Blood Libel. But see, these are, like I said, well, like we said before when we were talking about this, there's a good and a bad PR campaign for every tribe.
Mm.
For instance,
right now it's popular to hate Whitey.
Been popular for a while, but you're absolutely right.
It really is. You can sell grievance campaigns for a profit. It's very profitable. And the more that people agree with how profitable it is, the more profitable it's going to be. But the problem is, and this is always going to be the problem, is when that tool is used against you, you find out that you can fight no harder than the person you were shitting on yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's why you got to shit talk everybody.
Are you saying there's a PR campaign going on for everybody, different races now, like right now?
Oh, 100%.
And so the PR campaign
I would say
us,
look at Black Lives Matter. And if you looked at did you watch Candace Owens' documentary on the Black Lives Ladder?
No, should I?
So documentary should be banned because damn if you won't believe it after you watch a documentary. They never do point counterpoint. It's always 90 minutes of one side shitting on the other. And it's easier to bullshit in one direction than it is to defend against bullshit.
Yeah.
So either way,
you're effectively just compiling a story and then delivering it.
It's really
going
editing it in
listen,
such a way.
This is a thing. That is a thing. Here's side A. Here's side B.
And this is
yeah.
It's the reason I caution people to watch fucking television, because television is broadcasting designed with an angle in mind.
So if our PR campaign is hate whitey, you're just saying the blacks PR campaign would be Black Lives Matter? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Okay. So what would be Middle East PR campaign? In your opinion?
No.
What about the Jewish PR campaign?
What's happening right now? Goldman Sachs. Right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, they're saying that Kanye says Jewish people control and have high-powered positions, and
that's it. That's all he said.
And then, well, like I said, you can't say that's all he said because he continues fucking talking.
That really is what he said, though. That's like, imagine if you could get in trouble for saying most rappers are black. That's it. Most rappers are black. Just pointing out something that's true. Most basketball players are tall and black.
Yeah, and then you have, what was his name? Little guy. Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman? Oh, well, he's also a communist who hangs out in North Korea all the time.
Is he a communist, or does he really just talk good shit and play good ball?
Probably that. Probably the latter.
But see, it's narratives. What it is we're all player characters, and we get assigned backstories.
Backstories or not, if you point out, there's a huge hypocrisy when you point out that, hey, most people in positions of power that run the media and run the banks happen to be Jewish. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. But you don't get the same flack for pointing that out about sports. Can you imagine what would happen, like just as like a prank one day, started some sort of campaign to get more white people in sports? There's not enough white representation. People would lose their minds.
Make sports white again?
Yes, make sports white again. People would lose their minds. So you're just pointing something else being pointed out to us all the time. There's not enough black people in hockey.
Imagine, on that same note, that white people finally congregated together and made a white entertainment television.
Oh, my God. Well, every channel is a white entertainment television. But name it that. Call it...
Name it that, have
WET.
awards by it,
That's
celebrate it, get campaigns saying that you can only get scholarships if you are white.
Yep.
You know, the thing is, the rules have changed into grievance campaigns. Everybody wants to fucking hate because it's easier to hate than just to be like, we're all broke-ass motherfuckers. We're all broke, trying to hustle,
and I'm poor,
being told what to say and what to do to make that happen.
Yeah.
And that's the danger right there. Is that since we no longer make money at home and they kill every idea of making money at home, they make it as hard as possible to kill the small businessman in America.
Yeah.
Since they make it impossible to make a living wage on your own, they make it so that you have to play the game that they set forward. And it's corpo speech that I hate. Because really, what I feel like it is that corporate has become the new religion.
That's some real cyberpunk type shit right there.
Definitely.
But you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So
I feel like even corporate is just using the Jewish people as a shield. Really and fucking truly using them as a shield because we want to control your language. You can't get a record deal if you say these things. Except if you're Kanye West and you have an E.M.I deal to keep you in a slave contract forever.
Right. And if you're not Kanye West, we'll write all of your music for you.
beggars belief that like EMI is still like, nah, you ain't getting out that easy. Because I feel like if this is Kanye West's game, let's say EMI did drop him, he'd be like, okay, yeah, I plead insanity. Yeah, I'm gonna go put myself into such and such.
He would immediately recant everything he said, right? Apologize, get on one knee, and do what everybody else does, and take that nice porn dick in their mouth and suck on it.
If what?
Yeah.
What would make him do that?
If he'd get dropped by E.M.I Records.
I thought he wanted to be dropped by E.M.I Records.
He does. But until then, he's not going to apologize. He's going to burn his image as far as he can.
Yeah. What would be the point of apologizing after being dropped by a record label?
Because then he could say whatever he wanted.
The thing is, though, is the record label has nothing to fucking lose. Like, unless someone kind of came out and went, EMI, you've not dropped Kanye West. All these other companies have dropped Kanye West. Drop him. That's the only way that's going to happen.
Matt is a fucking genius.
It's not like Adidas, because they've got physical product. They've got all this fucking physical product, and they're like, shit, what are we going to do? We've got all this physical product. We need to shift it. Okay.
Hashtag free ye EMI.
Like,
it's
like for
hashtag
real,
free ye EMI. I'm telling you.
Right. But because EMI don't have any physical product, and the physical product that they do have, it's been sold and it's been shifted. It's sitting on record shelves and shit like that. Everything else is just digital. All they're sitting on is effectively like masters of all his work and shit like that. And his contract and his ability to make new work. But that has zero fucking physical value. It's all like, tentatively, he could make an album in the future, and tentatively we would own that. And so effectively, they don't have to drop him. They've got nothing to lose.
Right.
So he's gonna have to fucking go.
But this is his end game
in regards to his bullshit.
Think about it. It's beautiful in a way, because no matter how far he goes, up to including releasing an album called Miss or Hitler, right? He could, up to including, dressing up full Gestapo outfit.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do to really remove Kanye from EMI? He has a perfect fucking, because they have to pay him royalties for every sale, and like you said, Matt, they have a vested interest in keeping him, so they have a vested interest in selling his music. So no matter what Kanye says, no matter what Ye says, he still gets paid. So yeah, when he called out the Adidas deal that said that they won't drop him, he really may not be able to say it, but EMI can't.
Yeah.
EMI loses.
I'm Googling and I'm going on Twitter and I'm looking and I'm seeing no fucking discussion in regards to, hey, EMI, when are you going to drop Kanye West? I'm seeing nothing.
That's because
nothing.
That's because here on this fucking Gods and Prophets podcast, you actually get words that are spoken and created, and energy that's high vibrational that opens up ideas and portals that did not exist prior. That's the fucking cutting edge of this think tank of shit talk.
If Kanye West is still under contract for EMI Records, what is this whole thing about him releasing his songs on his own platform?
Well, he still has partial
ownership
of certain discography. It'll just skip whatever's fully owned, unless he has a deal that he gets with EMI. Just like, allegedly he's going to buy Parler so he can continue talking shit about whatever he wants to.
Yeah,
and it seems like
he has the money to do that anymore, unfortunately.
But isn't this a fucking? But even if he doesn't have the money, think about it. Isn't it a fucking terrible lesson to teach people that you have to be rich to have an opinion?
Yeah.
Because if you teach people that, what's to prevent them from fucking snapping and becoming the new generation of school shooters? Right?
So
you know why we don't have serial killers anymore? Because we have school shooters.
No, here's the thing. I think Dave Chappelle put it beautifully in regards to the industry, and we're talking about the entertainment industry. Now, whether that be that you're a comedian or you're on TV or you're a music producer or you make music or anything like that, the industry is a fucking disgusting beast. And there's a really good. He's just sat on a stool talking, and he he discusses himself in relation to him quitting the Dave Chappelle show, and the contract that he was in, and in regards to him being in, forever in the universe for all perpetuity and things like that. Dave Chappelle cannot make a season 3 of the Dave Chappelle show, despite it being in his name, because Comic Central owned that. And there's a reason as to why he left, and everyone was, and they branded him as insane, and they went, "Oh, he's insane, he's crazy."
The Kanye West classic.
I think Kanye West is a little bit different because I do think he
Kanye West
is mentally unhinged.
If Yogi Bear was here, she would talk about his chart, about his natal chart, and the fact that he has traits of intelligence in the Aquarius. What he is he loves provoking people, just like me. I don't give a fuck. People's personal opinions are usually because they lack control to prevent the result that they want. But the thing about internet discussions, and the thing that I really like to point out, is there's a big X on the upper right-hand corner that can be clicked at any time.
Log out.
And what we've done is we've allowed these corporations become our parents to decide for us what's good and bad based on their principles. And just like Adidas earlier dropping Kanye for $400 million, they were more than willing to support Nazi Germany when it was popular to do so. It's only when it's in vogue that they have an offense.
They got to watch that ESG score.
And what the real trouble here is, when it's your turn in the barrel, you're going to get fucked. So, he may not want to do a season 3 because Comedy Central owns the rights for the rest of his life. Dave Chappelle got screwed out of the contract. It's a forever contract. Just like Kanye West has a forever contract. It's a shit show, but he made a lot of money and generated a lot of publicity out of it. The difference is Chappelle could walk away from the name of the show, but Kanye West cannot walk away from him as a creator. And people call him insane. I call him a slave.
That is slavery. They call Dave Chappelle a genius and him a slave.
Well, I don't see anyone canceling fucking Coco Chanel, and she had massive ties to the, she did what she needed to do. She was an empowered woman. She was a big boss woman, and she did what she needed to do.
But remember, women are higher on the hierarchy than men.
Nah, she was. I mean, this is going back to old, long ago.
Goes men.
Oh yeah, she would go down to the bars and pick up the
goes
messages.
men.
Yeah.
Then women.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
That's on any of the tiers. Period.
The hierarchy pyramid here?
Right.
Okay.
And it all roots under the fact that the matriarchy has taken over positions of authority everywhere.
Men, then women.
Women are on top of men.
Okay. What's on top of women?
What's on top of women?
Most of the time it's men.
A man.
Giggity. But yeah. but on the hierarchy, would it be...
It's just whatever grievance they want to fucking say is popular at the time.
Gotcha. But women, definitely are higher up on the scale.
But it's under transgenders.
Of course.
So men, women, transgender. There you go.
I agree with that. Absolutely.
In the news, if you would consider, if you knew nothing, if you just woke up from a nap from 1999, and you would look at the news, you'd be like, "There's a lot of dick."
There's a lot of dick. A lot of dudes making out. I'm sorry. Still makes me uncomfortable. I know I'm supposed to love it and embrace it, but it still makes me uncomfortable.
Nothing turns me off faster than not having an option to skip those scenes.
Right? I could watch chicks get it on all
Give
day.
me an option.
Yeah.
Give me an option to, you want to be inclusive. You want to do diversity. You want to add all these flavors to it. Why not seek the customer's desire to isolate themselves? Have an option where you have a television show that allows me to take out fucking Tariq out of Power.
Like an option on Netflix?
Right. Give me the option to remove Tariq out of Power because he is the dumbest kid I have ever seen in my life written into a show.
What show are you talking about?
Power. I told you. I'm looking you right in the face and saying Power. Yeah. I'm saying, give me the option to remove Tariq.
Yeah.
Right?
And nobody knows who Tariq is.
Let me
nobody
watch
watches
Jeffrey
that show.
Dahmer without the dude kissing.
Was there dude kissing? I only watched like 2 episodes.
Oh, you sweet summer child. They
Should
get
I?
into bathhouses.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is interesting because bathhouses were never really mentioned for a long period of time. And now American Horror Story in New York City is also talking about bathhouses.
Speaking of bathhouses and massage parlors, let's say I went to a massage parlor.
You would be turned away for your repulsive skin that postulates.
I have a beautiful skin. Beautiful skin.
You look
I look
like a
10
horned
years
toad.
I look 10 years younger than I actually am.
Your
And
eyes look like the rigor mortis eyes of a
You
dead
say
corpse.
rigor mortis eyes, but I swear to God, if we both got on Tinder, I'd be getting swipe left and right, or whatever the hell they are. Swipe right? I don't know. Whatever the good one is, that's
Once
what
you
I'd be
take your
getting.
contacts out, you have no chance.
I don't have contacts in. These are beautiful natural baby blues, my friend.
Your desire to look like a boy band
If I
member
went to
will
boy band,
hurt.
I have a beard that's longer than your pubes, and that's saying something. So
You
if
wanna
I
check?
went to a massage parlor, I've seen your balls before. If I went to a
Ask
massage parlor
Burnley.
or a massage therapist, and I'm getting a massage, and it's very professional, and then she flips me over and says, "Would you like a good ending?" and proceeds to jerk me off. It's not sexual. It's just a part of the release.
Or you get the free bad ending where she sticks an unlubed peg up your ass.
Okay, that too. She can do that
no,
too.
no. She gives you the good ending or the bad ending. You don't get to choose otherwise. So the conversation is, are you going to get pegged?
It's here. Flip this quarter. So I
It's
flip
not,
the quarter,
and this is how the politics
and I
work.
get the good. There's a reason I'm asking. Then I get the good ending. Is that cheating? If it's performed as a part of a service to help you relax.
Is a vibrator cheating?
No. So no. Hiroshi, is that cheating?
Is a sex bot cheating?
No.
Is
So
a blow-up doll cheating?
Absolutely not. Those are uncomfortable.
It's like a balloon that you stretch over your dick.
Yeah, that's uncomfortable. Karoshi, would that be considered cheating in your eyes?
No comment.
I think he's dead. What do you say?
No, still here. I just said no comment.
No comment.
No comment if it's cheating or not.
I've never fucked a fleshlight?
No, I haven't actually. No.
Never heated up a pie?
No.
Oh, don't heat up a pie. Do like a cantaloupe or a watermelon or something. You know what's
I knew
really
you would have
strange?
some sort of fucking
A strange thought to have. I was just curious. I was on one of my dad groups, and a gentleman actually asked that, and my reaction was, "Yeah, it's cheating." If your lady went to some massage therapist and he finger blasted her before sending her on her way, I have a feeling that you'd be kind of upset by that. He was just trying to justify it. Oh, lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh, talking about pies and banging
It's
cantaloupes.
the confusion on his face that comes naturally. That's an aphrodisiac that I highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
Oh, every single hand that you've shaked in your life has had a dick in it.
Yes.
How often do you wash your hands?
Do you
that
wash
often.
your hands before or after you pee?
I don't. I only wash them if I pee on them.
So that's the thing that always got me is you wash your hands after you touch your dick. Your dick, which has been lovingly embraced in cotton for hours.
That's right, especially after you shower. And I scrub my genitals. I was hoping
Your
everybody else
hands,
does too.
on the other hand,
I see what you're saying. Have touched everything. Everything covered in your phone, which is like dirtier than your toilet seat. Your hands have been all over. So we should technically be washing our dick afterwards.
where's our dick washing?
We need a dick washer.
And we've got to make it equality now, so it needs to be in the men's and women's room.
That's true. This is going to cost a lot of money.
Which is really
To the
why I
state.
feel like it's a great loss for everybody.
I honestly feel like bidets are fucking overrated because that's what you're describing as a fucking bidet. So
Oh, bidet.
Bidets are phenomenal, and you shut your limey mouth.
Have you ever used a bidet?
I used to have one in my old house. Yes, I have used one. In all honesty, if it comes to that, I'm a fucking use the shower. It's that simple.
But then
when
you
you
have to
use the
finger your
shower-
asshole to scoop out the shit.
When you use the shower, you have to lean weirdly on the wall and spread your cheeks and it's a very vulnerable position.
Or
Depending
you
on
do that really awkward sweep with
No,
a cloth to try to see if you're a brown erase marker down
I
there.
don't know how you guys are doing it, but I think you're doing it all wrong.
I mean, do
Do you raw dog your soap bar against your taint?
No, God no.
I use a loofah.
You scrub it with a loofah?
Yeah.
That explains.
But I rinse everything out first. I do that weird. I put my cheek and my chest against the wall in the bathroom. And I kind of arch my back and I spread my cheeks and I let that hot water hit right up in there. And then after that's been done,
The proud duckling.
yes, exactly. And then I wash all the key areas: my neck, my chest, my armpits. I get behind my back. The last thing that I do is scrub my downstairs, and then I rinse that sucker out. I probably don't get all the stuff off. And then the next day, I'm touching my face with it again, proudly. No, I don't even think about it the last time. You know what I mean? The last time it was on my
then you
balls.
also put it in a clean pair of cloth. But your hands are fucking filthy. It's touched everything.
So we need penis
The
cleaners.
only way to be a politician nowadays would to never express an opinion popularly. We've made everybody politicians. It's a fucking nightmare world. We're living in hell.
Because everybody can share an opinion? Is that what you're saying?
No, because everybody's canceling their opponents because of their opinion. That's my fear, is that the corporate talk has moved to, well, can we just hate each other because of how much money we make? Can we hate each other because of our shit teams that we love in sports? Do we really have to start picking on tribes? Because once we start playing this game and making money, because that's really the game, is as long as we make money off of it. You want to see racism disappear forever tomorrow? Make it so that absolutely no money made through branding can be made by a private citizen. It all goes to the government. Make it a tax.
Make it a tax?
Make it a tax.
No, thank you.
So once you make it a tax, is it?
Did you see it? Yeah, on the sonogram.
He?
She. We don't know the gender.
Okay.
Yeah.
How dare you assume it's gender?
How dare you? I hate.
No.
You did.
But yeah.
Was that like...
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The mouth was so.
Oh man,
Little Pac-Man.
it's a beautiful thing.
And then the end was in the mouth.
Ah,
And it was like up like that.
Aren't fetuses so precious?
Yeah.
they're adorable until they come out and have opinions, right?
Yeah.
We'll have a
Baby,
good 5 years before that.
come here.
Oh my gosh, this is a sweet moment, y'all. This is such an
They're gonna
amazing
have
moment.
opinions anyway. It'd be like, I don't want to eat that. I want to eat ice cream. I was like, yeah, that's not how this goes.
And
Trust me.
emotional.
Awesome. Let
The
me
opinions
finish up.
come
Yeah.
quicker than 5 years.
Pick them out.
Okay, kind of melted in the.
I don't care. Yeah, how
Absolutely.
milk
Let's
it
do that
is.
so you guys can go.
Yeah, so
together.
Kanye West trying to break contract. Everybody's a fucking idiot. It's the Jews. Surprise.exe face. This has been Tay Lon Truth,
Mark Santana.
Matt Karoshi.
and this has been Gods and Prophets. And if you don't like the opinion, click the subscribe button so that you can bitch about it later.